This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. Views and opinions expressed in the podcast are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Laugh Cry Club. I am Joy.
Welcome.
Hi.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Chelsea Walsh. Nice to meet y'all.
Chelsea, first of all, I know our listeners can't see you, but you have the cutest sweater on. And is that where you did you get that from one of your cute boutiques? Chelsea always has the most fun outfits.
Really?
ever.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, I got this when I was shopping, and I actually showed it on our Instagram today because it's dopamine dressing to make you happy.
Oh.
And the world has been hard, so I want to feel extra happy, and I'm wearing my cat pants that I've also posted with Priya's face.
I saw that. Did you get this at the boutique on Catalina Island?
No, I didn't, but I certainly wish I did. I did shop on Catalina Island once, y'all, and the woman who owned the boutique shop picked
Bikini
out my bikinis. Yes.
Bikini shop. The bikini
No,
shop.
I'm totally appropriate right now in full sweats.
So, can you just take a moment and we revisit dopamine dressing? I love that because sometimes speaking for myself, I work from home. There's times where I'm like, sweats, whatever. But I've been really trying to be better about getting ready and putting on my favorite things and bright colors because I love bright colors and I love glitter.
You do. You're cute.
So that really does make a difference.
It does. So I never knew of dopamine dressing. I just do it. So one day I was wearing a really funny, bright shirt. It's like a soccer shirt, and I got it at a thrift store and with one of my best girlfriends. And I was on a Zoom meeting, and my boss was like, "That's a really interesting shirt you're wearing," or something like that. Or like, "Is that like a football jersey?" Like it was like kind of jersey-ish. And I was like, no, I was wanting to feel really happy. And I was in my closet, and this reminded me of one of my best girlfriends, Jennifer Laster. She's like, "Oh, you're dopamine dressing." And I was like, what? I never knew. So dopamine is a happy part of the brain. We can trigger the happy parts of our brain with the 5 senses. And so seeing a fun outfit and then the way that it feels, like this sweater is really, really, really soft. It just makes me feel
And every
very
time
happy.
you look in the mirror, you're like, oh, this is so fun.
Yes.
Can I tell you?
love it.
Can I tell you a story about? I am a probably 20-year-old at heart, always in the way that I dress and the things that I like, and I still like to wear glitter on my eyelids, and I like to just like be shiny as much as I can. When I was in my 20s, I remember my friend gave me a pair of Uggs that were just these obnoxiously huge, furry, just like if you think of Snuffleupagus, it was that kind of fur that like just flowed down from these boots, and it was pink. So I had these huge furry Uggs that were pink, Snuffleupagus hair. It wasn't like just like a faux fur. It was ridiculous. Like I looked like an animal or like a Muppet. And I only wore those around the house because, I was like, where am I going to go with these? And they're so warm. They kept my feet warm in the Colorado winters. And one night it was so cold that I couldn't even imagine like taking those boots off. So I just put on like gray jeans and a gray shirt and a gray coat, and I wore the Snuffleupagus boots, pink, furry, shaggy boots out to dinner to the Cheesecake Factory. I got so many stares, but I was like, I don't care. That's kind of like my sole human identity is that girl.
I love it.
And it's
Joy,
great.
I thought you were going to say you couldn't take them off because you loved them so much, so you slept in them. That's what I thought you were going to say.
I thought she was going to say that too. And then Joy, when you're describing like the glitter and all of that, I'm like, yeah, well, that's because her name is Joy.
Yeah.
Like Joy actually fits her name.
Yeah.
You are very cute and very, very, very
Joyful.
fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and
I wasn't fishing for thank you.
Well, you don't have to fish
No.
because I'm just going to hand it out right now. Yeah, none of this surprises me.
all that to say is sometimes if you ever, I don't know if you ever feel this way, but if sometimes I'll look at something, I'm like, it's too loud, or like you really love it, but you kind of feel self-conscious. Of
Never.
being, like the peacock out in the world. I say just go for it. Just do it because it's your true identity. So dopamine dressing for the win. Let's talk about our laugh cries this week. And then we are going to talk about adventures and why we need adventures in our life, how that shows up for us with our partners, our friendships. And also, if you're a new listener to the show, let's back up a moment. We are the Laugh Cry Club. We are 3 licensed therapists. And the purpose of this show really is to normalize all the emotions that we go through, the laughing and the crying, and to show how close those can be together. We talk about our laughs and we talk about our cries, and we're all experiencing the same ups and downs, no matter who you are. So we really want to make sure that everyone feels seen and heard and that you are in this club with us. So that is the Laugh Cry Club. We'd love for you to give us some feedback on any of the apps you listen, any apps that you're listening to this on, as well as you can reach us on social media at Laugh Cry Club. So we're glad you're here.
And I'm going to add to this. So we will always share our laughs and our cries to normalize the human experience, the highs and lows. And then we pivot into a topic of the week. And most of the time, these topics are coming from listeners who are asking us to address a certain thing. And so we're really destigmatizing mental health and really, encouraging that human connection. So we launch new episodes every Monday, and it's a great way to start your week. It's a great way to set your intention, to learn a little bit, to ease into the week that sometimes we get like Mondays are hard if you work a traditional work week. And we are here. I start every Monday with this podcast. It's just an awesome way to get my head in a really great space when the world is hard because we're humans. So thank you for joining us. We are going to pivot into our laughs and cries. And this week, we're going to nominate the lovely Joy. And I'm just imagining glitter eyes and all things cute and fun and pink. And
I got glittery nails right now.
Yes, you do. All right, Joy.
Wow.
Laugh and cry. Give it to us.
Laugh. Okay, I have pretty short laughs and cries this week. So my laugh, my parents were over this week. I think last week I shared that I lost an uncle pretty suddenly. So my parents were over last week because we were trying to fly out to Phoenix and get my mom out to Phoenix to see her siblings. So my parents were here for a couple nights, and my dad is so funny. I will probably keep talking about him and the silly things that make me laugh, but he picks up one of my candles that's on our counter. I have like, I don't know, there's a brand that I like. It's like from California. I always get them at Home Goods. It's called Sand and Fog is like the name of the company, and it's female owned. So I always like buy from them, but they also sell a brand. It's called Sand and Paws. So if you have pets, it like neutralizes pet odor. It's really just cute. So I always get them at Home Goods. And so, like if you buy something at Home Goods, the sticker is always like really big on the, and I never take the stickers off.
And
It's
annoying.
Like, yeah.
Annoying that they have
So I'm
those.
like, it's my house. Like, I don't care how much, if people see how much this costs. But my dad picks up this candle and he looks at it. He's like, whoa. And I was like, what? And I'm thinking he's going to be like, wow, that's a good deal. And he goes, that's a lot of money for a ball of wax.
He clearly has no idea how much candles go for these days.
They're so expensive.
They
They're
are.
so expensive. This is why I get them at Home Goods. And even at Home Goods, they're not like super cheap. But I just laughed so hard because I was like expecting him to be like, yeah, you got a good deal. And he's like, it's kind of expensive for a ball of wax.
Yeah.
So that was my laugh. My parents are just the cutest and I love them dearly. My cry was my senior dog, JT, had to get 3 teeth removed this week. Dropping my pets off at the vet is my least favorite thing to do. So like if they have to have some type of surgery, or even I've dropped pets off before where like I'm taking them to a routine vet visit and the vet is like, actually, we need to keep them overnight. I just panic. I cannot stand the thought of them like being somewhere scary. And JT, my 13-year-old dog, is very nervous and anxious in his old age. He's very sensitive. He's always had the most sensitive heart. So when I dropped him off yesterday morning, I like got there really early, just like sat with him, and I knew he wasn't like, he knew he was at the vet. He was kind of like kept trying to turn and go out the door. But like just leaving him, I just cry every time because I just love him so much. I worried about him going under because he's old to get his teeth removed, but he's fine. And I picked up a very drugged up dog last last night, and it was almost like taking your drunk friend home, where they were like, you can't even get them in the car because they're just all over the place, you know? Or like if you've seen 16 Candles, when like that daughter is, or the bride is drunk at the wedding, like it was one of those scenes where I was laughing because I'm like trying to get him in our house, and my husband's out of town, so I'm like trying to lift this 70-pound dog up the door. It was very, very funny, but huge roller coaster of emotions yesterday, and I cried because animals are the best.
It's so hard to leave them at the vet.
It is. It's so hard. It's like, I want to like Marianne, the animal communicator we talked about last week. She always tells me to send pictures to my animals in my head, like communicate with them by sending them pictures. So I try to do that. I kept trying to send him pictures of like, you're safe, you're going to be home soon, like a picture of us cuddling together. So that makes me feel better. I like to think that they understand that.
I believe they do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
animals are so like energetically tuned in.
They
They
are.
really
I mean,
feed
they're
off of our energy.
they're so special. And if you think about animals, and it's interesting because I studied Indian medicine from a college in India for a long time. I don't advertise it because it turned out that the college was a diploma mill. So I went through this whole doctorate program for like almost 3 years and did all the work. And then they got busted for giving out fake medical degrees.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Whoopsies.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is because they were talking about animals like bird's eye view, like being able to see a bird so high, like our brain cannot or a dog, how a dog can hear so well. And basically that as human beings, we cannot possibly begin to comprehend all of the things that we're missing, because if our senses were that high all the time, we would all be insane. It just would be too much to be able to see so far,
Right.
to be able to hear every single thing. So I believe like that's what like faith is. You know, we can't see it, but we know it's there. And I just think there's so many beautiful things that we don't know. And our animals do know stuff, which is really interesting to
They're
me.
so
So I
intuitive.
love that, Joy.
They're so intuitive. Yeah, like even when I was on the phone, if I'm on the phone with my mom, or if like I get heated and I'm like talking to someone, my animals are like, they like come up to me immediately, and they like, Joe will crawl between my legs and sit there and like look up at me. And it's just, they're fascinating. Animals are the coolest. So, okay, moving on. Who is up next?
I'm going to nominate myself because I have an animal story too.
Love it.
So my laugh, this is not funny, but this is happening. And it turns out that it is also funny and sad. My sweet cat, after I confessed last week, you know, I drink out of my cups that my cats drink out of. My new kitten, the real cute one, has Gerardia. Okay. This is like,
Oh. And your cat drinks out of your cup.
oh, I'm all up in the cup. So anyways, I thought like, oh, well, we just adopted her and she's having tummy problems and blah, blah, blah. So finally I decided I took her to the vet because I'm like, these tummy things are going on. And the vet looked pretty horrified. It was like, you need to like clean everything and bleach everything. And I'm like, I'm a clean freak already. He's like, oh yeah, it's highly contagious. And I'm like, he's like, you know, sharing water with the animals, sharing water. And all I'm thinking is I drink. Like I posted it on Instagram. You guys can see I drink after my animals. So anyways, the part that is funny is haha on me for my lack of boundaries with germs, but I'm fine. I've been really sad for my cat, Cade. She has to be quarantined in the bathroom for 2 weeks.
The
So
one that has Giardia. Yeah.
the one that has Girardia. The other ones are good. All the other pets have been tested. Everybody else is fine. I've set it up so I can work in the bathroom, like sit on the toilet, and then I have like a TV tray stand thing. And then I bleach the bathtub twice a day. And then I take a bath in there so that way she can hang out with me. It's just become really out of control, but I feel really bad for her. And so I'm just in it. But I think it's really funny that here's the funny part. All of it's funny, but I never knew I liked cats. I never knew I was a cat person.
I
And
remember
now
you saying that, like before you
Yes.
got Priya. When you got Priya, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed.
obsessed. So it wasn't until my husband got sick and I started feeding what I thought were the feral cats in the neighborhood. Turns out they all belong to my neighbor. So I don't get to kidnap any of them. And now I have my own. And now I am that cat woman. And it's so obvious. I'm wearing cat pants right now with Priya's face on them. I drink out of the cups. I'm still kissing the cat with Gerardia. I know I probably shouldn't. I know it's a problem, but I love them. So that's my laugh. My cries, you all, I have to say, being a therapist is such an honor. I had some clients that I've met with this week who have made major breakthroughs. I had 3 in a row on Monday. I was in tears and had chills all over my body, listening to like positive self-talk, listening to new ways of coping, listening to new ways of being. Sometimes as a therapist, when you first work with someone, you know they're going to get there. It's just a process. So that has touched to see growth. It makes me cry. It's so amazing to see that we don't have to suffer alone and that there's shortcuts to being able, I would say shortcut therapy is the shortcut, right? You still have to do all the hard work. But anyways, I just was like teared up and almost crying. And I had 3 back-to-backs and it was just beautiful.
Wow.
So shout out to all of you doing hard work.
Yes. To all the people in therapy doing hard work, or even the people just in life doing hard work. But Chelsea, that's so amazing. And it's such an honor to witness that. I know exactly what you're talking about, where I'll just sit there and I'm like, wow, you did this.
Yes, you did this.
Like a mirror for you, but you did this. And look at you. And I will often sit there and celebrate. And then they're kind of like, oh, but it's so rewarding to see that and to see the growth and know how much it takes to get there.
Yes. And I do want to highlight that you did the work. We might shortcut it because we're giving some insight, but ultimately the motivation, the follow through, the being vulnerable, the showing up, the trusting me as a helper on your journey or any client, like that is an amazing thing. It's a gift to get to witness that. So I just want to say shout out to everybody who is doing the work. And I'm going to pass it over to Rebecca. That's my singing voice for you. Did you like that? I tried to hit your Mariah. I tried to hit Mariah.
Is the app working? The singing app's working for your voice. I love it.
I haven't been using that app, but I just thought I would try it.
Clearly, you don't need the app.
Is this the app that you were talking about, Rebecca, that'll like do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some time ago.
Yeah, Rebecca's singing app that teaches you how to sing. That's what
so
we've
good.
gotten out of it was that singing that I just did.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. You actually don't need an app, but because you're so wonderful already.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Yeah. Well, so my laugh has to do with, I was at Walmart the other day in the self-check line. There was, there's like always like a monitor, like the hall monitor monitoring you checking out. So I did my checking out. There always pops up the 5-star review, right? Anybody recognize it? Yeah. Okay. 5-star review pops up.
Yeah. Like when you're checking out, it'll be like, how was your experience? Yeah.
Exactly. So she's kind of lingering over me, and I decided I'm not going to give a review today because she's right there. I didn't want her to see it. And so, I decided
Hold on. You didn't want the worker to see the review. The worker is hovering over you while you're doing your new job called checkout person at Walmart.
Yes. So I didn't want her to see it, so I turned to leave, and she's like, oh, hey, the review. And I'm like, I go back, and I'm like, okay. So I hit 1 star, and you should see everybody's voices here. And
okay,
she's
that
like,
sounds
our
mean.
faces are like, what?
I know. And so I hit 1 star, and she's like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah. I said, really, you should be getting paid more. Walmart should paying you more. And they should be hiring more people to check people out, right? Like you should have better benefits from this company. And she's like, but 1 is bad. I said, for who? You? Because I was thinking, oh shit, is this her review? Because she's the hall monitor of the checkout stand.
Yeah, so
that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought
and she's like, no, for Walmart. And I'm like, that's okay. They got enough money. Because I'm like, honestly, every time I self-check, I always give a 1. Because 1, I was never officially trained in how to check myself out or bag.
Oh my gosh, Rebecca, you are so funny. This is almost like Halloween surprise for me, where I'm like, Rebecca, you're something else.
2, I never agreed to this. I never agreed to it.
no consent given.
So I did not consent to checking myself out. And then sometimes I make this joke. I'm like, okay, since I got no training in checking myself out, I'd be like, okay, one for you, Walmart, one free for me. One for you, Walmart. One free for me. And it's like,
Hold on, you're stealing? Is that what you're doing?
I'm not. I make the joke like, that's what I do when I'm checking out. I'm like, oh, yeah, like, because they'll cost you at the exit anyway and search you to make sure you didn't steal
you're
anything.
You're going to get arrested.
No, I'm not stealing. I'm not. But
I will bail you out. I'm in. I've got you.
I think people should just treat their workers better and pay people a wage that's appropriate, provide health insurance.
She did not expect that conversation.
Provide, hire more people. This is not good for you as the employee that they're making me check myself out.
Rebecca, I'm going to mess it up. So I had somebody who I know once who worked at Walmart, and they said that Walmart can help pay for your college. They have great health insurance. Like, this was Walmart in California, but this was her second job that she did because she said it was so good. So
I would say some people may say that, but I used to live in Walmart country in the Bentonville, Arkansas area. And I know how the Waltons have been. It's a big company. They just treat their employees terrible. They're just known for it. It's not a place you go to make a lot of money.
I can't
Maybe
wait
if you're
for
in
the
management, you can do well. But yeah, they've done some pretty terrible stuff. So I'm like,
1 star.
hold on. Was this your laugh or your cry?
this is my laugh because I'm like, she caught me. I mean, because I always give a 1 star, and I wasn't going to because you're standing right there, but she forced my hand.
Can you imagine if that was Rebecca's cry?
I mean, I'm kind of crying right now. Like, I'm feeling so bad. Okay.
Yeah, I don't mean to go off the rails either, but I love a self-checkout. The introvert in me is like happy to not have interaction.
I like to organize my stuff myself. And plus, I've gotten really good at self-checkout. The only time I get really annoyed is when they have to help me because I'm like, I don't want help. I don't want you to check my ID. If I wanted you, like, I don't know. That's the time I get annoyed because then it takes too long. Then it defeats the purpose.
So that's my laugh. She caught me. I wasn't officially trained. I do enjoy bagging. I think I'd love to have like a part-time job as a bagger because I like organization.
It's like Tetris.
And they always give you way too many plastic bags there, so I prefer not to. But I did not get trained, so I feel like I should be trained. And it kind of reminds me of my dad does this thing where he buys ice. And then he'll go out into the ice machine, and I was like, he took 2 bags, and I'm like, you just paid for 1 bag of ice. He's like, yeah. He's like, you buy 1 and you get 2. That's how it works. I'm like, so that's the thing in my family. They just buy 1 bag of ice and you take 2.
I'm entitled.
I'm
entitled to an extra bag.
It's ice. So I've seen people do that too. It's kind of comical. But okay, so that's my laugh. And my cry has to do with I watched Inside the Mind of a Dog on Netflix, thanks to Joy's recommendation.
So good.
Wow. My cry was about watching that and then watching the dogs graduate. It was at Canine Companions. And when the people were getting their dogs, I'm like bawling because I'm like, oh my gosh, like,
I got to bring you to a graduation sometime. It is like cry central. Yeah.
Yes, because I saw like this woman had the dog. She was like the puppy raiser and she got to present the dog. So did you get to do that?
Yes. I went out when Cadet graduated and you hand over the leash to the graduate. And I cried the entire day. I was a blubbering mess. I can send you the video if you want to watch Cadet's.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to pause this for a minute because if you haven't listened before, Joy is a puppy raiser specifically for service dogs. And so Cadet...
Companions.
For Canine Companions. Yep.
Yes. And Cadet is who?
Cadet is the first dog that we raised. We got her in the pandemic. So it was like very emotional too because A, it was our first one, but B, she literally saved us in the pandemic because we had nothing to do, super isolated. She brought so much connection to our lives. Anyway, she went on to become a hearing dog. So the process with Canine Companions is if the dog graduates and is matched with someone, the puppy raiser is invited to come out and meet the graduate. And they have like a huge graduation ceremony. So the puppy raiser has the dog on the leash and like passes the leash over to the graduate, and everybody hugs and cries. And it's just, I cannot put into words how special it is. So I'm glad you watched it. That's awesome.
It was amazing. It was really amazing. And it was so informative about dogs and how they have transformed through the years and the human connection with them. I learned so much. Like, I just was so good.
Didn't it make you feel closer to your dogs after watching it? It totally made me feel like,
yes. Yeah, because there was little things like, I don't want to get too much into it, but just how their eyes have formed, where now there's an extra muscle in their eyes where you can see the whites of their eyes. Because for us, that's like, that's the human experience, right? So that happened through all these years, because used to, like, you wouldn't see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our laughs and cries for the week. I'm sure you all out there have some really great ones too. We can't wait to hear those at some point. But we're going to shift into our topic today, which is about adventures and how it can help improve your mental health.
And we chose this topic because we promised you all last week was so heavy that we wanted to do something really fun. And adventures, fun fact, for couples out there, adventures is one of like the biggest boosts in a relationship. So when they study marital satisfaction with individuals who like, say, go to a nice dinner and watch a movie, as opposed to those who have an adventure, the ones with the adventures are happier, even if the adventure was a disaster, which is a fun fact. So let's talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, would you also like call this like an experience versus like a, like gift? You know how people are like, I like experiences versus gifts. Like that's also kind of what we're talking about. Because to me, sometimes adventures like, do I need to like fly somewhere? No, it could just be something really spontaneous, right?
I think I think that's a great thing. Like call out, like what is an adventure? I feel like an adventure is anything out of your normal behavior you do. Like maybe I decide I'm going to go shopping at a different grocery store this weekend. That's an adventure. So it can be small. It could be traveling, but I'm just thinking of it on kind of this smaller level of what are you gonna do? Maybe an adventure is selecting a new genre of movie you don't watch. Just something new.
I agree. I mean, I think of adventures as doing tiny things differently. And for myself, it's saying yes as much as possible. And so when we think about, why this helps, we know that it boosts social connection. Again, saying yes. We know that it helps with curiosity and growth and creativity. And, I think of this as very, very, very small. When I first moved here, where I'm living now, I made it every day that I would go on an adventure. So I would like ride my bike and see what happened. Like one day I rode my bike and there was the blood donation van. And so I was like, ooh, this is my adventure today. I'm going to donate blood.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Just like, what's the world going to bring? Like not having the time constraints. My son and he's the best at adventures. It's a great way to connect with your kids as well. We will like take our electric bikes out in the middle of the night and go to the Gulf State Park and ride in pitch black and listen to all the animals and then like stop and get ice cream, which is so fun. So these don't have to be huge things. They could be little itty bitty things. But again, it helps us to connect with like that inner child in ourselves.
It releases all the feel good feelings like dopamine, endorphins. And that's why it makes it really great for your mental health, because all those happy chemicals start flowing. Whether the adventure goes poorly or not, you are getting really great chemicals released.
Can I share something that's kind of an adventure, but more like, I'm just sharing an example to see if this is kind of like along the lines of an adventure, is something that's also out of our comfort zone, maybe. I remember last year we had an on-site for our work. I hate karaoke. Like, I just don't like...
Really?
I historically just like don't like to sit and like listen to people try to sing. Maybe I've had like bad experiences. Anyway, so they were doing karaoke at one of like social nights, and I was like, ah, man. But I was with such cool people. I was with everyone at our work, which is, they're all wonderful, amazing humans. And I was like, well, this will be fun. I'll just kind of like quasi participate and just, hang around. And everyone was just having such a good time that it was contagious. At the end of the night, they're like, okay, your team has to go. Like, you got to get up there. And it was almost to a point where every single person had to participate. So they not forced you, because of course you could have said no, but it was almost like if you don't participate, you're kind of like being a party pooper. And so I went up there with our team and I led the song and I sang Love Shack, because I was like, oh, that's a low pitch, like easy talking song. I had such a good time. And so now I was like, oh, I'm going to change my narrative around that. That was such a fun adventure for me, stepping way out of my comfort zone. I don't know. It's a core memory now. I'm like, it's something that I'm like, I think about that because I don't know about you, like your personality types. I'm not the type of person that will just be spontaneous. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. So these are good reminders, but how do people do it if they are maybe like me, that's more hesitant and it's scary to do something like an adventure?
First off, Joy, I did not know that. I was there. I was the one rallying our team full of introverts and was like, we're doing it. So when she said there was a choice, there was not a choice, because I was literally like, the people who made it a choice was because they physically left.
Totally.
That they
That's
like
so
escape.
Yeah, there's a couple people that left early, and I was like, "You're totally bailing."
Yeah, what a bonding experience that we got to have. And so, my belief, and probably because I love, oh my God, I can make an adventure out of anything. How I get people in my life to do this with me is I tell them they only have to dance. Or normally it's like a dancing or something. I'm like, one song.
Yeah,
it's
that's
3 minutes. So I've had it where we're like, my sisters are like, we are not going there. And I'm like, we're going to dance for one song. We're going to stay for one song. We're going to have a drink for one song. And then we can leave. Like, if you 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what happens is if it sucks, great. 3 minutes, you're done. And you still have a core fun memory. If it's great, then you just got to have this really fun adventure. And so I just say, give it one song. That's how I measure.
3 minutes. That's a great example. Because it doesn't have to be this like really long drawn out, like a trip. Like I was saying, it could be something that is out of your comfort zone, but the important thing, it really does help your mood and it gets you out of that rut. We are such creatures of habit that can really work against us. So kind of intentionally picking something that's like, it does some rewiring for our brain. Like, what a cool thing.
Yeah, I would say that it doesn't even have to be out of your comfort zone. For example, just a few weekends ago, there's this local science center that we've kind of considered going to a few times. And so we just decided, hey, let's go. It's a nice day. So we went, we saw the exhibits, we did a walking trail. They had these animatronic dinosaurs there. They had these animals they had rescued. That was cool. It was just nice being outside. And they had a gift shop. I'm a sucker for a gift shop. Love it. Fun fact, we do not have wedding rings because we just never had. And so we were looking at this gift shop and they had mood rings. And I was like, oh, hey, they're $4. We bought mood rings as our wedding rings.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
That's what we did. That was our adventure, though. And it was
what
so
color
fun.
did they turn?
I don't know. Mine stayed kind of blue all the time. So
Peaceful.
I got the yeah. So I don't have it on now because it was bothering me because I don't like to wear it, but wear jewelry much. But that's an adventure, like something maybe you've considered doing. And we just said, yeah, let's do that. I have a friend. They do like a secret Saturday. They're a couple. You could do this with your partner, spouse. You could do this even with like a best friend. Just each person plan like a Saturday little adventure out, and it's like a secret. And then, you can give people like an idea of what to prepare for as clothing. But then you do like a secret Saturday, and they would record them and they'd go visit different places. And it was really fun. The idea of adventure is having fun.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great example. And I love that it's like out, it doesn't always have to be out of your comfort zone. That's a really good point.
Yes. And so what do we know that it does for the brain? it helps us to create some flexibility, like mental flexibility. It helps to build confidence too, because you know that you're going to do this thing that you might be uncomfortable or something that's outside. It helps with self-connection as well. I want to ask you all, because I'm so curious about this. I was thinking about in therapy sometimes when people get really low mood, they get depressed, they get apathy, like I just don't care anymore. I don't want to do anything. Sometimes it helps to do opposite action. And so sometimes I'll suggest, like, you feel this way, and then I encourage the opposite action, and then I'll ask, like, how did it feel afterwards? So can either of you think of a time in your life where you did the opposite action and it was an adventure? Joy's nodding. I'm going to pass it to you, Joy.
I do this all the time. I'm actually really good at this piece. I'm less great at, like looking at something that's going on in my community on the weekend and like checking it out, because I don't know why. It's something I got to look into that. But I'm really good at when I'm in a bad mood, or if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I will purposely put on music. I will go for a walk. I will look at trees. I will like seek answers in the things that are around me. And I will immediately go to a place of like, okay, I'm not in a great mood, but where can I seek the beauty around me and the joy in the things around me and get outside myself? Because normally when we're kind of in a funk, it's going inward and we're kind of like closing up. So I try to envision like going out of myself to be like, what can I do to turn this frown upside down? And not in a way of like ignoring the emotions, but sometimes I just really want to like, see what else I can do to not just like sit in the crap.
Thank you, Joy, for sharing that. Rebecca, what about you?
I'm trying to think of something where I've changed kind of the dialogue or the scenario. I would say that the day we went to check out the little local museum, I think we were both feeling a little down because it was before the time change, or maybe it was right around that, and, feeling that low from that. And so, yeah, we just made an agreement together, like, yeah, it's a beautiful day. Let's get outside, get some vitamin D, try to change our moods. And it was so much fun. It really was.
I'm going to share a time where I had an adventure in one of the worst times of my life. And if you're a Substack reader, you've already read this, so you'll just get to hear the verbal. But when my husband was first diagnosed with cancer, he was on tour and he was in St. Louis. They flew me out. Now, some of you may or may not know this. My husband and I were separated at the time, but we were still friends. We were still family, blah, blah, blah. So it was easy to show up, but I was in complete and utter devastation, just completely devastated. And we were staying at this really fancy hotel because with the band he worked for was kind enough. I'm going to just shout it out. Tool, thank you. They were kind enough to fly me out and put me in this really nice hotel so I could be there, because Steve had to go in the acute cancer care because he had declined so much, his health. And again, St. Louis, because that's where they were playing. And I was outside and I was drinking a Prosecco. I was in this bar that was in the hotel. Visiting hours had ended at the hospital. I'm sitting and I'm drinking this Prosecco, and I bring it outside because I don't want to be with humans anymore. And Prosecco, I'm drinking it because that's like my little adventure. Like, I drink champagne sometimes when I'm sad, even just like a glass, because the bubbles make me feel happy and it like hits the happy part of the brain. So I'm outside and I'm totally shut down, and there's a group of men, these handsome Black men, all dressed in matching tracksuits, and they're laughing and joking, and they're coming on the backside of this patio, which is closed, by the way, because it was like rainy and dreary, and I'm in such a state of grief. I do not care. I just don't want to be in the bar. My adventure was, all of a sudden, my body was following my nose to the smell of a joint. They were all smoking weed, and I don't smoke weed, but I was like, I'm not encouraging anyone to do this, but I was like, I could really use that. And I sat with them and shared this joint, and it turned out they were backup singers for I'm not going to out anybody, but they were on tour and they were backup singers. And we had this shared human experience, and we sat for hours and like laughed and talked and commiserated about our shared human experience. And it was such a random, my rando, like such a random adventure.
We love rando adventures.
Yeah, but man, it was in the worst part of my life. And what I probably wanted to do was like get up and leave and hide and not have to make eye contact or not have to talk to anybody. And it was just such a tethering experience. I mean, I was crying. They were tearing up. We were all talking. It was beautiful. And it was that human connection and taking a risk with vulnerability, which I would say was an adventure as well at that time of my life.
I love that story. I did read that on Substack, and it's like I could see it so visually. What a reminder of connection to in the times that we really probably want to run and hide, but you find it's almost like you're more vulnerable to people, and people are really open to that when you are vulnerable as well.
Yeah, Chelsea, thanks for sharing that story. It's just really demonstrates how important it is to have human connection and how groups of people are really important.
Yeah, and then we share those core memories with another human being. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to remember those men, and they saved me.
Yeah.
And they're going to remember me. And we got to share stuff. So if you are feeling overwhelmed with the holidays, with the state of the world, with any dynamics that might be challenging right now, give yourself a little gift of adventure. Just a little teeny tiny gift of adventure.
We'd love to hear the adventures too, if you guys do.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Please share your adventures.
If you do this, listeners, will you please tag us? Because
Yes.
I love to be inspired by you can tag us. What are they? It's just the @ Laugh Cry Club?
Yeah, it's at Laugh Cry Club. That would be on Instagram or on TikTok. I would love to see what you're up to.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And then we could be even more inspired as well, because I personally am really into adventures.
And we can share it, and then other people. I mean, it's just a ripple effect of adventures.
Yes, I love that. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Can we just say how lucky we are right now?
We're so lucky.
Yes, we
Well,
are
we
so
are.
lucky.
I mean, think about this.
We have a community of people out there that we love, and it's just so exciting just to have all these people sharing in the laughs and the cries of the world.
And if you're listening
Human
to this on a
experience.
Monday, plan your adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
What a great
next
way
week.
to what a great day to do it too, because Mondays
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
people are like, well, I don't have the motivation. What a great thing to look forward to. This is all turning out to be wonderful, good vibes. So thank you guys for listening. Again, at Laugh Cry Club is our Instagram handle. We're also on TikTok, and you can also find us on Facebook. You can email us laughcryclub@gmail.com. So for next week, we're going to talk about radical acceptance and kind of how we show up in a relationship, how we can take ownership to things that are either conflicts or problems, whether with family or with friends. It's difficult to turn the mirror on ourselves and think about what we might be doing wrong.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, what do you think?
I would say think of it what are you bringing to the party? Are you the main dish? Are you the turkey this Thanksgiving? Are you a side dish? Are you the dessert? What are you bringing to this? Because that also matters, because we are co-creators in relationships.
Yes.
And a dynamic takes two people to participate.
It takes two to make a thing go right.
And two people to tango, too.
And two people to have a fight.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do next week, we're going to deep dive into this. It's this term of how do we accept things that we cannot change and look at our piece in that. How do we stop ourselves from participating in
a
things that are
dynamic.
not serving us? It's really hard. When I first learned this, I was like, radical acceptance is the most annoying thing I've ever heard. And I was so pissed about it. And I was so righteous that I was not involved. And I would say within one therapy session, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake,
Oh,
I
man.
really got some work to do over here.
Darn it.
I
to
still
not
do
Yeah,
it.
it is really hard. It's so hard, but once you recognize what you are bringing, it's so helpful.
So thank you, friends. It was wonderful to be here with you this week. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being in this club, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
That's life, baby.